In the United States, some studies estimate that up to 1 in 5 married individuals have strayed in their relationships, which can be a sobering thought. Have you ever felt that quiet ache in your chest, suspecting something might be wrong but unable to pinpoint the cause? Perhaps your partner's phone goes silent whenever you walk into the room, or their mood shifts in ways you cannot explain. If you have experienced that uneasy twist in your gut, wondering if your intuition is warning you of hidden secrets, then you are in the right place. Today, we will delve into the most common signs your partner might be cheating, but more importantly, we will explore how to address these signs with grace and wisdom. Welcome to our channel, a space dedicated to understanding human behavior, drawing lessons from revered thinkers and ancient wisdom to guide us through modern challenges. My name is, your name, and I have spent years studying the patterns that govern our deepest relationships. I have seen how a simple suspicion can unravel trust, or, conversely, motivate profound growth and clarity. This video is not merely about exposing wrongdoing. It is about helping you build the confidence and awareness you need to find peace, whether through confronting the issue, seeking help, or discovering new strength within yourself. Here is how we will proceed. First, we will explore the subtle shifts in behavior and communication that may reveal underlying betrayals. Then, we will examine more direct red flags and real-life stories that bring these signs to life. Finally, we will discuss practical steps to move forward, including opportunities for healing and transformation. If any part of this resonates with you, please share your thoughts in the comments below. By learning together, we grow stronger. Stay with me until the very end, because we will also discuss ways to reclaim your sense of self and foster genuine emotional security. Cheating is not just physical intimacy. It can also appear in the form of emotional bonds, secret digital communications, or even financial deceptions. According to certain U.S. studies, as many as 1 in 5 married individuals admit to engaging in some form of infidelity. This statistic may seem alarming, yet it highlights an important truth: unfaithful behavior can manifest in subtle and varied ways, often catching us off guard when we least expect it. Now, why is infidelity so deeply painful? At its core, betrayal erodes the foundation of trust that both partners work hard to build. The moment trust weakens, mental and emotional struggles begin to unfold. Picture a moment when you are physically beside your spouse, yet you feel strangely alone, almost as though there is a wall between you. That sense of isolation, being together but apart, can gnaw at your self-esteem, creating an underlying current of anxiety and self-doubt. You may start to wonder if you have done something wrong, or if your instincts are overreacting to random changes in your partner's routine. For some, this silent erosion manifests in restlessness, irritability, and a lingering sadness. For others, it might show up as denial, an internal voice that whispers, "Perhaps I'm imagining things." Regardless of the reaction, the emotional toll is real and can be physically draining. Betrayal affects not only the heart but also the mind, steering us toward sleepless nights and constant second-guessing. However, these challenges can also serve as a catalyst for growth. Through understanding, self-reflection, and open communication, we can begin to heal our emotional wounds and reclaim our sense of security. If any part of this resonates with you, consider sharing your thoughts in the comments. By doing so, you might discover you are not alone in facing these struggles, and together, we can learn ways to rebuild trust and protect our well-being. One of the earliest indications that something might be amiss in a relationship is a noticeable shift in communication. This can present itself through stonewalling, where one partner refuses to engage in meaningful dialogue, or through dismissive remarks that shut down conversation before it can even begin. At times, you might also encounter unexplained hostility, a sudden irritability that seems out of proportion to the situation at hand. Now, it is important to remember that every couple experiences conflict. Occasional disagreements or tense moments do not necessarily signal infidelity. Life stresses, personal worries, and misunderstandings can all ignite an argument. However, if you observe a consistent pattern of avoidance, secrecy, or deliberate withdrawal whenever real communication is attempted, it might be time to look closer. Let me share a brief story that illustrates this point. We have Sarah, a thoughtful and warm-hearted individual living in Dallas, who wrote to me describing her husband's abrupt change in behavior. For years, they would discuss their day over dinner, everything from work challenges to weekend plans. But seemingly out of nowhere, he began to clam up. Whenever she asked about his schedule, he would say he was too tired or too busy to talk. Dinner conversations grew shorter, and he frequently retreated to another room to watch TV alone, offering only one-word answers when she tried to reconnect. At first, Sarah assumed it was just the strain of a busy season at work. Over time, however, she could not shake the feeling that something bigger was happening. Her husband's rigid silence had turned into a consistent pattern, marked by frustration whenever she pressed for more information. Determined to address the issue, Sarah tried a compassionate, yet firm approach. She calmly expressed her concerns, asked open-ended questions, and remained patient, even when her husband attempted to brush her aside. Ultimately, this honest conversation opened a window for him to admit that he felt overwhelmed at work and guilty about a few secrets he had been hiding. It was not easy for either of them, but it was a moment that allowed them to start repairing what had slowly begun to crack. The key takeaway here is to pay attention to those abrupt shifts in how you and your partner communicate. One rough day or an isolated argument is perfectly normal, we are all human, after all. But a repeated pattern of deflection or purposeful silence can signal deeper issues, whether it be hidden stress, unspoken resentment, or the possibility of betrayal. Rather than letting resentment build, do your best to address these changes head-on. Ask yourself, is this a passing phase, or is it becoming our new normal? If you or someone you care about has faced this kind of distancing in a relationship, feel free to share your insights in the comments below. By discussing these experiences openly, we may discover ways to resolve communication barriers and foster a more trusting, harmonious bond. A sudden, intense focus on appearance can be both intriguing and concerning. Picture this: your partner, who once showed only a casual interest in self-care, now invests heavily in a new wardrobe, hits the gym at dawn every day, and perhaps even experiments with a drastically different hairstyle. Of course, there is nothing wrong with wanting to look and feel better. Self-improvement is a commendable goal, and many people find renewed energy in a healthier lifestyle. However, if these changes happen abruptly and are coupled with secrecy or vague explanations, it may be wise to pause and reflect on the underlying reasons. For instance, a new health kick might involve more balanced meals, regular exercise, and a fresh mindset. That can be wonderful if your partner is open about their goals, perhaps inviting you to join a morning jog or to swap recipes together. The situation, though, can feel suspicious if they grow defensive whenever you express curiosity, or if they start hiding receipts for expensive new clothes without offering a logical explanation. Real change should carry a sense of positivity and transparency, not guilt or secrecy. Let me share a short story that illustrates the fine line between innocent self-improvement and questionable behavior. James, living just outside Los Angeles, decided to begin a strict 6 a.m. workout routine and suddenly started wearing a new cologne every day. His wife initially appreciated his efforts and wanted to join him at the gym. Yet, whenever she asked to tag along, James dodged the invitation. He also refused to introduce her to his new gym friends, and grew irritated whenever she brought up how his schedule now consumed their usual breakfast time together. Over time, his wife started to wonder whether James's lifestyle overhaul was purely about health or if there was something else motivating him. It is essential not to jump to conclusions immediately. Some people genuinely awaken to healthier living or discover a new passion. But if you notice a pattern of evasion, unexplained costs, or defensive remarks in response to your curiosity, those could be signs of a deeper issue. Keep an eye on whether this new focus on appearance is nourishing your bond or quietly erecting barriers between you and your partner. If you have ever witnessed a similar situation, either in your own life or among friends, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. By exchanging experiences, we can better navigate these confusing changes, learn how to communicate respectfully, and ultimately strengthen our resilience in all aspects of life. When someone consistently comes home late with vague explanations about why they had to stay at the office, or they claim to be out on weekend getaways with friends but never give you clear details, it can plant the seeds of unease in your mind. Of course, there are genuine situations where work or personal responsibilities lead to irregular hours. However, it is the pattern, the ongoing repetition of ill-defined absences, that should catch your attention. For instance, if your partner's stories never line up, or they change their reasons at the last minute, perhaps one day they say they were helping a coworker move, and the next time they insist it was a family reunion, those inconsistencies can be a significant red flag. Another telltale warning sign is defensiveness. If you offer to join them at a social event or even suggest a simple coffee meetup with their friends, and they react with irritation or evasion, ask yourself why. People in healthy, transparent relationships usually welcome the chance to include their significant other in shared experiences. Frequent pushback or excuses, especially when repeated, could indicate they are guarding another life or connection they do not want you to discover. Emotionally, these unexplained absences can leave you feeling neglected or lonely, even when your partner finally returns home. You may notice an undercurrent of tension in the house, a sense that you are treading on eggshells when you try to ask the most basic questions. Perhaps you have lost count of how many times they have arrived home too tired to engage in simple conversation. Gradually, you might find yourself drifting into a silent corner, unsure of where you stand or how to approach their increasingly erratic schedule. If this scenario resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on how these disappearing acts affect your sense of security and connection. Have you noticed this pattern in your relationship? Go ahead and let us know in the comments below if you are comfortable sharing. Sometimes, speaking up or even reading others' experiences can be the first step toward clarity. Remember, not every absence is a guarantee of betrayal, but repeated patterns of evasiveness can signal deeper issues in need of open, honest dialogue. By staying observant and willing to communicate, you protect your own well-being and nurture the potential for genuine understanding, either by resolving the confusion or by recognizing when decisive action is needed. One of the more telling signs of hidden turmoil in a relationship is a sharp change in your partner's overall demeanor. A person who might have been warm and considerate could suddenly become critical, picking fights over the smallest things. Alternatively, you could see the opposite extreme, an unexplained burst of positivity and high spirits whenever they come home from outings you know little about. These shifts might not be random, they can signify inner conflict or guilt. Some individuals deflect their unease by accusing you of cheating, effectively projecting what they themselves are grappling with. Consider how your partner reacts to innocent questions. Are they easily triggered when you ask, "How was your day?" or do they respond by flipping the script and blaming you for various issues instead? If small conversations routinely escalate into arguments that leave you feeling confused, it is worth asking whether there is more beneath the surface. Occasionally, stress at work or other personal matters can explain such mood swings, but repeated patterns of aggression or deflection signal a deeper issue that needs attention. In these moments, it is tempting to mirror that combative energy by fighting fire with fire. Yet, a calm approach often reveals far more than an angry confrontation. Try to share your concerns gently and see if your partner will open up. If they remain defensive, consistently shutting down your questions or turning the blame on you, it may be time to consider professional counseling. A trained therapist or counselor can create a neutral space where tough topics can be unpacked without fear of judgment or further damage to the relationship. Keep in mind that such attitude changes do not automatically prove infidelity, but they do suggest that something important is left unspoken. Whether the underlying cause is betrayal or unresolved emotional baggage, what truly matters is that you honor your own well-being and self-respect. If you have encountered a similar situation or watched a close friend experience these shifts, feel free to comment below. By sharing our stories, we collectively learn how to respond in a way that is both compassionate and courageous, forging paths toward personal growth and healthier connections. Lying and secrecy often begin subtly, with a single small cover-up that may not seem like a big deal in isolation. Perhaps your partner shrugs off a question, giving a slightly inconsistent story about how they spent the afternoon. One day, it is grabbing coffee with an old friend, and the next time they recall the event, that same outing morphs into a business meeting. A single discrepancy can be innocent, we are all prone to misremembering details. Yet, when you notice a recurring pattern of contradictory stories, overly elaborate excuses, or sudden shifts in personal history, it is wise to pause and reflect. These signs can indicate a deeper dishonesty, especially if your partner grows defensive or attempts to divert attention whenever you seek clarity. One fib by itself is not automatic proof of wrongdoing, but repeated deception often points to a more serious problem at hand. Take Monica's situation, for example. She discovered that her partner was telling his friends he was single when chatting with them online, while simultaneously explaining to Monica that he was merely going to watch sports with the guys. Whenever she questioned him about the specifics of his social plans, he would offer a string of explanations that never quite matched up. At first, Monica tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, attributing his lapses in memory to stress or disorganization. But after noticing that his stories consistently failed to align with each other, she began to suspect something far more damaging than a simple oversight. Eventually, she confronted him about finding his dating profile, and that was when their entire relationship dynamic shifted. Though it was painful, Monica recognized that looking the other way would only prolong her confusion and sense of betrayal. Confronting dishonesty can be a daunting process, often fraught with the fear that you might escalate conflict or even lose the relationship. Still, trust is the backbone of a healthy partnership, and deception, no matter how small, chips away at that foundation over time. If you find yourself in a similar situation, try to approach the matter calmly, gathering facts rather than assumptions. If your partner is open to discussing these discrepancies, you may be able to clear the air. If, however, you face constant deflection or anger when you bring up your concerns, it could be a sign that there is more to uncover. Should you need a place to start, share a brief reflection in the comments. Sometimes acknowledging your suspicions out loud is the very step needed to illuminate your next move, whether that involves seeking professional help, reevaluating the relationship, or simply learning how to trust your instincts more fully. Technology has woven itself so deeply into our daily lives that it can become an avenue for both emotional closeness and hidden secrets. One clear indicator something might be amiss is when your partner abruptly changes their passwords or starts keeping their phone on silent and face down, even during casual moments at home. You might notice they have installed chat apps you have never heard of, or they suddenly dismiss you the moment you walk into the room while they are using their laptop or phone. Of course, everyone is entitled to a measure of privacy, and not every password update suggests wrongdoing. Yet, a pattern of secrecy or defensiveness tied to digital behavior can signal deeper issues. Internet infidelity, often overlooked in the past, is now more prevalent than ever, as people may engage in emotional or even physical affairs through social media, online dating platforms, or instant messaging services. Let us consider how easily a second social media account can be set up. Someone might appear faithful on their primary profile, where you can see every post and friend, while simultaneously running a hidden account where they flirt or even date online. Worse still, they could block you from that account entirely or disguise it under a different name. If your partner becomes overly protective of their devices or you sense a sudden shift in how they handle notifications, do not overlook these changes. A person with nothing to hide is usually open or at least comfortable explaining their new habits. If you inquire about who they are chatting with, they may offer a casual answer or even invite you into the conversation. However, continuous evasion or gaslighting, suggesting you are paranoid or controlling for wanting basic reassurance, can be a strong indicator of dishonesty. That said, drawing conclusions too hastily can lead to conflict. Instead, strike a balance between respecting each other's personal space and recognizing when repeated secrecy crosses a boundary. Should you find yourself constantly tiptoeing around suspicious behavior, it might be time to address the issue head-on. You could say, "I respect your privacy, but I feel uncomfortable not knowing why things are suddenly so hidden. Can we talk about this?" If your concerns go ignored or spark anger, consider seeking a counselor or therapist. A neutral professional can offer guidance on how to approach digital boundaries and healthy communication in an age where a single notification can change the nature of trust. If you have experienced or witnessed a similar scenario, feel free to let us know in the comments below. Sharing your story might illuminate someone else's path, helping them navigate these modern dilemmas with both wisdom and confidence. Sometimes, the most revealing red flags emerge not from arguments or direct conflict, but from subtle changes in how finances are handled. You might notice unexplained charges on a shared credit card, sudden withdrawals of cash, or a reluctance to follow the usual budgeting routines you and your partner once agreed upon. If your spouse or significant other used to be transparent about bills or upcoming expenses, but now deflects every time you bring up monthly statements, this could be more than just a case of new spending habits. While minor shifts in financial priorities are common, perhaps due to a job change or health expenses, repeated evasiveness or secretive behavior around money often suggests a deeper issue. One clear indicator is when your partner stops planning for the future with you. Maybe you both once saved diligently for a dream vacation or a down payment on a new home, and now they appear disengaged or defensive whenever the topic arises. You might also discover hidden purchases that do not align with your known goals. These could be random, like a store receipt for items you never see at home, or more telling, such as gifts for an unnamed friend. At times, you may even catch them making odd excuses for unexplained transactions, hoping to bury inconsistencies under a flurry of new reasons. "I had to lend money to a relative," or "it's just a work expense I forgot to mention." Let me illustrate with a brief anecdote. Carla, who had always managed the household budget with her partner, began to notice a steady stream of withdrawals posted at unusual hours. When she asked about them, her partner brushed her off, claiming he simply needed extra cash for minor errands. Yet, those explanations never added up to the significant sums vanishing from their joint account. In her quiet moments, Carla felt a growing sense of dread, wondering if he was funneling money toward an undisclosed relationship or lifestyle. Ultimately, she confronted him with the bank statements, and while it led to a tense conversation, it also opened the door for the truth to finally emerge. Encountering financial red flags does not guarantee infidelity, but it does mean you deserve clear, honest answers, especially when shared finances are at stake. Money represents both tangible resources and emotional security in a partnership. When money matters become shrouded in secrecy, it can erode the sense of unity and trust upon which a healthy relationship is built. If you find your partner consistently stonewalling your questions about unexplained expenses, try approaching the subject calmly yet firmly. "I've noticed some unexpected charges. I'd really appreciate understanding what they're for." Should repeated conversations lead nowhere, or if conflicts escalate each time you bring up finances, it may be prudent to seek guidance from a counselor or financial advisor. Remember that protecting your own peace of mind includes ensuring transparency in the logistical aspects of your life together. If you have faced a similar situation or know someone who has, share your story in the comments below. Talking about these experiences helps demystify the hold that secrecy can have, paving the way for honesty, empowerment, and a clearer path forward. Consider two brief yet poignant examples that reveal how hidden betrayals can unfold in everyday life. First, there is Ashley, a devoted mother of two from California. She began noticing strange charges on a shared credit card, restaurant receipts for dinners she had never attended, and gift purchases that never made their way into her home. At first, she told herself it might be a simple accounting error, or perhaps a surprise gift for the family. However, as these unexplained expenses piled up, Ashley's concerns grew until she confronted her partner. In the end, her suspicions were confirmed. those secret transactions were part of a life he had been hiding outside their marriage. Then, we have Troy, a young professional in Chicago who found himself growing more and more uneasy about his partner's late-night habits. His partner would stay awake past midnight, always on WhatsApp or switching between social media apps, yet would quickly close the screen when Troy walked by. Eventually, Troy summoned the courage to ask why his partner seemed so guarded and distant. What he uncovered was not a purely physical affair, but an emotional relationship taking place in private chat rooms and messaging apps. Though the betrayal was virtual rather than physical, the pain it caused Troy was no less real. If we look at these stories side by side, a few common threads appear. Ashley and Troy both encountered a lack of openness, repeated half-truths, and an emotional gulf that left them feeling both confused and hurt. In each case, the individuals involved discovered they deserved more honesty, and that facing the truth was painful yet necessary for their personal growth. These situations remind us that while deception and emotional distance can be devastating, they can also spark a journey toward self-respect and clarity. Feel free to leave a comment if any part of Ashley or Troy's experiences resonates with you. By sharing our own stories or insights, we often find the strength and support needed to restore a sense of balance and integrity in our lives. Before you decide how to address suspicions of infidelity, it is crucial to pause and take a moment for self-reflection. Ask yourself, are these worries based on consistent observations, or am I allowing my own anxieties to color the situation? Emotions can run high when trust feels threatened, and making hasty accusations can spark unnecessary conflict or drive a deeper wedge between you and your partner. Keeping a clear, level head will serve you best in the long run, helping you approach the issue with compassion and firmness rather than fear. Next, if your concerns remain, consider calm and direct communication. Rather than confronting your partner in the heat of frustration, choose a quiet time when both of you can speak privately. You might say, "I've noticed certain changes in how we interact, and it makes me worried about us. Is there anything we can address together?" This kind of open-ended, non-accusatory language can lower defenses, opening the door for a genuine conversation about what might be going on beneath the surface. If your partner is willing to talk, you may uncover misunderstandings or stresses that have built up over time. If the conversation stalls or feels too overwhelming, it might be time to seek professional guidance. Speaking with a couples therapist or even attending individual therapy can bring clarity, particularly when the tension is high or trust has eroded. Having a neutral third party to moderate the discussion allows both of you to express concerns without the fear of judgment or spiraling into further conflict. A skilled therapist can offer tools for rebuilding communication or, if necessary, for parting ways in a healthier manner. Above all, you must protect your well-being. Should you discover that infidelity is indeed taking place, remember that your emotional health is of paramount importance. Whether you choose to work through the issues together or end the relationship, your decision should align with your mental and emotional needs. Lean on friends, support groups, or therapy during this process. No one should have to shoulder heartbreak alone. If you have faced a similar crossroads or wish to share a personal insight, feel free to leave a comment below. By shedding light on our experiences, we can help one another find resolve, understanding, and ultimately, peace of mind. We have covered a series of key signs that point to potential infidelity, shifts in behavior, secrecy around technology, changes in communication, and patterns of dishonesty. At the root of every warning sign, you will often find a breakdown in openness and a disregard for genuine connection. Remember, your self-worth should never be compromised by uncertainty. Honest, respectful conversation is your most powerful tool in safeguarding the emotional core of your relationship. It is important to hold on to hope, even when these discoveries feel overwhelming. Not all relationships end because of cheating. Sometimes, a candid discussion can open the door to healing, revealing hidden struggles that can be addressed and overcome. When both partners commit to transparency and empathy, deep wounds may begin to mend. However, if attempts at honesty and mutual respect fail, moving forward on your own terms can be an equally empowering path. You deserve clarity and a chance to cultivate a life anchored in self-respect. Before we wrap up, I want to extend an invitation. If you have ever encountered any of these signs or simply have questions about how to communicate more effectively, let us know in the comments below. Your story might resonate with someone else who needs reassurance, or it might inspire you to seek a supportive community. Additionally, feel free to subscribe for more insights on navigating relationships and personal well-being. And if you know someone who could benefit from this information, consider sharing this video with them. Should you need further guidance, there are resources available, therapists, counseling hotlines, and various online programs that can offer professional help when you need it most. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of what can be a delicate and painful subject. Our channel is dedicated to your growth, encouraging healthier ways to handle life's most challenging moments. By staying true to yourself and prioritizing meaningful connections, you set the foundation for a future defined by trust and fulfillment. Until next time, remember that every step toward honesty and self-awareness is a step toward living a more balanced, empowered life. Stay strong, take care, and be well.